The Premier is at the lectern delivering the State of the Province address. Let's take you there now live.
We stand at a stark moment in history. The challenges we face and tough decisions we make will determine the trajectory of our province and of our country and our people. As a nation, we have walked side by side through the valley of the shadow of death. Today, we are better armed, knowing that as we work hard to manage the devastating COVID-19 pandemic, we must shift to a higher gear. We must quicken the tempo to lift our physical recovery, our emotional recovery, and very importantly, our economic recovery, reduce inequality, and create jobs. We are a nation united by our diversity, founded on hope, and taught never to despair. Our undisputable leadership in building peace and hope is vested in our King, His Majesty uBhejane Phumesiqewini. His Majesty has always led from the front in building unity and prosperity in our province. In this regard, as government and people of KwaZulu-Natal, we will continue to pray for His Majesty's health and well-being as he goes through this trying time. May God hold uhlanga lomhlabathi in the palm of His hand. Honorable Speaker, we recall as we gather this morning here that 60 years ago, Inkosi Chief Albert Luthuli made history when he became the first African to receive the prestigious Nobel Peace Prize in 1961. Concluding the inaugural Albert Luthuli lecture at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in March 2004, former President Thabo Mbeki said, and I quote, "In undying tribute to Albert Luthuli, we must ensure that the tempo quickens even faster than ever before," close quote. The title of the lecture was "The Tempo Quickens," based on the article penned by Inkosi Luthuli describing the acceleration of the struggle in the face of the brute force and racial tyranny in the 50s and 60s. That time is now. We must accelerate change and change for the better. The pandemic has brought the brutality of death into our homes, devastation to the economy, and heightened the crisis of unemployment and inequality in our society. The mobilizing spirit of Inkosi Luthuli reminds us to hail freedom and to urge that the tempo must quicken yet again to advance peace, prosperity, equality, and development in KwaZulu-Natal. Amid the gloom and doom visited upon the globe by the COVID-19, hope springs eternally in our province. Siyafana nomhlanga othi ushawa izikhukhula ubhende ugobe kodwa ungaphuki. Like the reed plant, ours is a nation that is bruised, but we remain unbroken as the COVID-19 storm settles. As we quicken the tempo, we are reminded that it takes heart, tenacity, and vision to move forward. Our State of the Province address coincides with 150th birth anniversary of Umama Charlotte Maxeke and Umafuguzela himself, Dr. John Langalibalele Dube. We stand on the shoulders of the giant because it was Dr. Dube who pioneered nation building and brought hope to the hopeless in the dark days of colonialism. Dr. Dube took bridge building to the loft heights when he established the Ohlange Institute at Inanda, a school which in the march of time has produced leaders of great influence and positive impact in almost all sectors of the society. It is a monumental tribute on the 150th anniversary of John Langalibalele Dube that our province recently unveiled a state-of-the-art school in Lamesi named after the first president of the ANC Youth League, Mzwakhe Anton Lembede. The Anton Lembede Maths, Science and Technology Academy officially opened its doors on the 15th February 2021. Let's see isikole sokuqala esifana nalesi KwaZulu-Natal. Lesi isikole sofundisa abantwana ngescience, mathematics netechnology. Kodwa silele kakhulu ekutheni zonke izifundo zithi ifundiswa at the center kube innovation and leadership. Today we pay tribute to our 32-year-old Ndwedwe-born scientist at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Sandile Qele. In December 2020, Sandile Qele successfully grew the COVID-19 variant in a laboratory, giving our country international recognition and acclaimed for his groundbreaking research. The story of the 18-year-old Ajana Bakwandin from Open Air Special School remind us that with support, hard working and strong will, people will overcome their odds. Ajana finished #1 in the LSEN school in KwaZulu-Natal in matric class of 2020. She is cerebral palsy and she's asthmatic. We want to say, even if you are paraplegic, there is nothing that makes you fail if you are supported. Congratulations to her for achieving 4 A's and 3 B's. She wants to pursue psychology and writing, and we hope to have tea with her soon to see how our government can support her reach and fulfill her dream. In 2021, we must quicken the tempo to unite all our people in diversity, to revive hope in our common future. In 2021, we must remember and remind the children of KwaZulu-Natal that they are proud descendants of heroes and heroines, of innovators, pioneers, and peacemakers who are revered all over the world. When we bid farewell to a former member of this KwaZulu-Natal legislature, Umkhumbu Kunethezeka, Dr. Michelle Kadebe, we were reminded of the importance of peace as a condition for development. In memory of Ubungane, umakhulukhulu, kumele sigcine ukuthula njengento ebalekile KwaZulu-Natal. Sazi ukuthi singaphilisana ndawonye, even emndenini naseyindaweni esihlala kuzo, irrespective ukuthi umuntu nomuntu uvela kiphi iorganization. We also remember with sadness in our hearts other members of this legislature, including Honorable R. Mthembu, Honorable M. Ndobe, Honorable former MEC Begin Tuli, Honorable N. Changase, and Honorable Simon Fayela, a member of the NCOP, who passed on since we last met. We also remember their worships, the mayors, the councillors, and other government officials who are no longer with us. In their memory, we must look ahead to growing the peace and prosperous society they committed their lives to building. As we hail peace and freedom, KwaZulu-Natal remains alive with endless possibilities. Amazing feats on sporting and entertainment front have lifted our emotional psyche for a better post-COVID-19. Our provincial rugby team, Cell C Sharks, did us proud by reaching the finals of the Currie Cup against the Bulls of Tshwane. We also take this opportunity to welcome with open arms Siya Kolisi, the Rugby World Cup winning Springbok captain, as he joined our provincial franchise, the Sharks. We also congratulate the Istatamia. We congratulate the Istatamia musical group from Durban, the Kolwa brothers, led by Derek Mlambo, who are recently winners of the 64 gold medal at the South African Performing Arts Championship held in Rustenburg in December last year. The Kolwa brothers will now represent KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa in Los Angeles in United States of America late this year. At the same championship, Durban-born songwriter McGregor won 10 gold medals. Sithi halala kwiKholwa brothers ngokuqhakambisa iprovince nezwe lethu bakubeke kwimap yomhlaba. We also wish to acknowledge the rise of the two KwaZulu-Natal born actresses, Thuso Bedu and Nomzamo Mbatha, who have put KwaZulu-Natal on the global map. They featured in the Essence magazine top 20 as Black Hollywood stars to watch out for in 2021. Hammersdale born Nomcebo Zikode and Master KG from Limpopo are taking the world by storm with their hit anthem, Jerusalem, which saw the world dancing the COVID-19 blues away. We also honor the centenary of the founding of the South African Communist Party. Communist Party and the Communists have historically been at the forefront of our revolutionary alliance in the fight against racial tyranny and inequality. We salute their fighting spirit 100 years after that great internationalist spirit was first brought to our shores. Amabomvana sithi halala uma egubha iminyaka eyikhulu. Honorable Speaker, when we look on the year 2020, definitely with all challenges, but we have a reason to celebrate. We are encouraged by the resilience in the economy, especially in auto manufacturing and agriculture. Despite the prevailing economic challenges, we have seen remarkable toughness in these strategic sectors such as automotive, manufacturing and agriculture. These sectors continue to be the backbone of the provincial economy and create massive employment. It truly inspires hope that during the difficult period when all other sectors shared jobs, these two sectors didn't share jobs in our province and stood firm to protect and cushion the employees of their industries. Last year, we stated our ambition to support 100,000 job opportunities for jobless youth people, including unemployed graduates. We are pleased that in the midst of COVID-19, we turned devastation into economic opportunity and supported local industries owned by young black people. We created 137,000 jobs under Sukuma 100,000, surpassing the target. These are young people who have been placed in various departments and in various sectors in the industries within the province. To answer before they ask, the list can be availed if it is needed. We congratulate all our departments for embracing youth employment with such demonstrable vigor. Let us get into just a hint of this success. One of such recipients of our funding is a Galansin Agri, an agricultural initiative that produces high-value crop using the hydroponic system. This project received 2 million from the KZN Youth Fund program toward the erection of 10 guest house tunnels, water sourcing, and fencing for the 5-hectare of land. The land used for this project is at Dlangubo area under Ward 25 in Umlalazi. The project employs 30 permanent young people and 20 part-time. The company received, another highlight is AdNot, a telecommunication company which is 100% black and youth-owned. They received 857,000 rands, the funding from the KZN Youth Fund, and provide internet services in Ugu, Kinkechwayo, and eThekwini. They employ 9 staff. Another flame of hope from this effort is a 22-year-old Sanele Mkhize from Tandi, who now holds a commercial pilot license with a grade 3 instructor rating. Mkhize qualified as a pilot through a bursary from the Premier's office. Of his humble beginning, Mkhize wrote to us recently saying, as I quote, "Growing up in Esbongile Township in Tandi, it was nearly impossible to imagine myself as a qualified pilot. After finishing matric, I was awarded a bursary by the Premier's office to pursue my dream." Close quote. Lona ngumntwana osuka nje lokishini elincane elinganakekile kodwa namuhla useyipilot. Useyokwazi ukuthatha abantu abafly from one city to the other, abathathe from one country to the other. Honorable Speaker, taking a look at socio-economic outlook, there is hope. In preparing for today's address, where we were informed by a rather grim number of people who are unemployed and those already discouraged from seeking employment. These are not mere statistics, but a reflection of a dire socio-economic conditions in which millions of the people find themselves. Results of the quarterly labor force survey, which were released by Stats SA this week, paint a gloomy national picture with a number of unemployed persons increasing from 6.5 in the third quarter of 2020 to 7.2 million in the fourth quarter. During the same period, the largest unemployment increases were recorded in KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape and Gauteng. These figures, however, indicate that the number of jobs created is outshone by a high number of job losses. Thus, our economic recovery should focus strictly on job creation. We also know the impact of COVID-19, not only on humanity, but also on the economy of our country. The world, globally and locally, has faced a number of challenges, and in KwaZulu-Natal, KZN businesses are some in distress. Among the affected companies is the like of Fairmont Zimbali Hotel, Inza, which manufacture port, the iconic Hilton Hotel, and most recently, Hennes South Africa, which manufacture Playtext, have also filed for voluntary liquidation. Mounting job losses result in declining tax revenue. Government get compelled to prioritize existing resources in order to, among others, support ailing businesses and provide a social safety net to the poor. Reduce revenue impact on government expenditure. However, we will continue to improve on our efficiencies, ensuring that we redirect funds to the delivery of basic services. We will also sharpen government's leadership in the recovery of the provincial economy. For these reasons, the core of this address is unpacking of a provincial economic recovery and transformation plan, the details of which will find expression in further announcements in the coming weeks. Honorable Speaker, in preparation for this SOPA, we reached out and paid attention to communities on what they believe are priorities for our province. We have listened to many suggestions, and we are grateful of many innovative ideas presented. We are also alert to all concerns raised by citizens and are committed to address them in pursuit of building our province together. Siyabonga kakhulu kubantu bakithi ngembono neziphakamiso abazithumelile. Sizizwile futhi siyazihlonipha. Sizokwazi ukuthi ezinye sizikhulume ngazo namuhla kanti ezinye zizoba ingxenye yezinkulumo ezizothulwa o-MEC ngesikhathi bethula ama-budget for ama-departments. In his 2021 State of the Nation's address on the 11th of February, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa declared this year this as the year for our rebirth and renaissance. SONA identified 4 urgent priorities for our nation, which are defeat the coronavirus pandemic, accelerate economic recovery, implement economic reform to create sustainable jobs and drive inclusive growth, fight corruption and strengthen the state. Taking a cue from this and factoring our own provincial conditions and priorities, the Provincial Executive Council Lekgotla agreed that this year our strict focus and energies will be on the following 5 priorities: intensifying the fight against the coronavirus, reigniting economic restructuring and job creation, build social cohesion, fight crime and corruption, delivering basic services, in particular water, building a capable and ethical developmental state. As we present this address, we call on all people of KwaZulu-Natal to join hands and work toward overturning all present day adversaries for the betterment of our province. This requires that we accelerate implementation of all priorities and resolutely drive and deliver for the better. Hence, the theme of this state of the province is quickening the tempo to economic recovery and job creation. Right from the beginning, as we outline our program, we will wish to start by building the economy and the creation of jobs. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this House, fellow compatriots of KwaZulu-Natal, we undertake a solemn declaration to spare no effort in the struggle to grow the economy. The focus will be on restructuring the economy to ensure growth and address the imbalances in the ownership pattern and ensure creation of jobs. Sizibekele amatarget amathathu ngokomnotho. Okokuqala ukuthi siwukhulise umnotho. But okwesibili ukuthi umukhulu ungakhuleli ezandleni zabambalwa ababe benefitile ngesikhathi sobandlululo. Kodwa awu-include bonke abantu bakwaZulu-Natal. Okwesithathu, nokubaluleke kakhulu kukhona konke ukukhanda amathuba emsebenzi for abantu bakithi. Honorable members, the 2 special economic zones have become levers for industrialization within the province. Dube Trade Port will be implementing an expansive strategic plan over the next 5 years focus on its core SEZ mandate to drive localization of manufacturing within its own zones, as well as fast-tracking the development of the Durban Electropolis and automotive supply park in the south of Durban. The Durban Electropolis Master Plan has also begun to stimulate private sector investment into the border of this Electropolis region. Cedar Point Trading has begun constructing the Western Business Park on the R102 adjacent to the Dube Trade Port. And this is one of the major developments within this Electropolis. The phase 2 has an investment of phase 1 has an investment of 2 billion and is 33 hectares of industrial land. This creates excellent and complementary investment to the Dube Trade Port and support a wide range of companies entering the Electropolis area. The park will be built in 3 phases over a total of 70 hectares. Lento esikhuluma ngayo ayikude ila ngaseKaneland eduze nayo iDube Trade Port and development esiqaliwe ukwakhiwa. Ngokunjalo eningizimu neTheku iDube Trade Port isiqalile ukusebenza ukuthi iautomotive supply park ezolekelela ukuthi ukwazi ukuthi ama part adingekayo ezimotweni akhiwe lapha KwaZulu-Natal. Lokhu kuzosinikezela amathuba emisebenzi acela ku-3,000. Singareporta ukuthi as steps sokuqala sokwakha le automotive supply park siyafuna ukubonga uTransnet osungenelelile wathi asisheshise le program. Maqede kwaba nezingxoxo ezithi iDurban International Airport, i-airport endala ayibe iphase yokuqala la kuzosetshenzelwa khona and umsebenzi usuyaqala kumanje. Le phase yokuqala iba ne-investment ka 1.5 billion. This initiative will ensure that KwaZulu-Natal maintain its competitive position within the automotive industry. The first phase will then be followed by a larger development of the Ilovo site for a wide range of industries. So, asiyeki site le ekhona kodwa siyaqala la kusakhiwa ngali. Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone is also pleased to announce that the construction of the 1.3 billion oil plants by Wilma has started. The project is expected to inject much needed jobs in the King Cetshwayo district. The plant is expected to be completed on the 4th quarter of the year 2022. The Richards Bay IDZ has also appointed the contractor for phase 1 of the 4.5 billion titanium dioxide plant. This phase will be operational in the 4th quarter of 2021, and phase 2 construction will commence in January 2022. The zone is also keenly watching the announcement of the preferred bidder of the risk mitigation independent power producer program, which is imminent in the next month or 2, as indicated by His Excellency the President in his 2021 State of the Nation address. Asichaza ukuthi njengoba sasishilo ukuthi Richards Bay sifuna ukuthi iqhubeke nokukhiqiza oil, ikhiqize igas, le announcement esiyilindile izosilekelela kakhulu ukuthi o-announcwayo njenge-successful bidder meseqala ukwakha lapha e-Richards Bay kuzoba i-development enkulu ye-plant engase idle more than 20 billion and that will create the massive employment and change the landscape of the northern KwaZulu-Natal, not only Richards Bay. This year alone, the Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone will also launch 2 investor projects expected to commence construction in the second and the third quarter of the year 2021. These will be a plant manufacturing architectural and industrial paints and establishment of soda chlorine chemical production plant. These will have collective value of over 1.1 billion. Last year, as its contribution to inclusive growth anchored on localization, the Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone will also launch an enterprise development program in the second quarter of this year. This is intended to deepen localization. Siyafuna ukugcizelela leli. Akukho kahle kuthina ukuba nenkampani ezinkulu eyiqasha abantu abaningi, siyakubonga siyakunqoma lokho. Kodwa mase iqhubeka emsebenzini eziyenzayo zilanda into eziningi ngaphandle kweSouth Africa. Njengoba zila eSouth Africa, lokho ongakhiqizwa eSouth Africa makhiqizwe eSouth Africa, especially la KwaZulu-Natal. Uma kwakhiwa imoto, makhiqizwe imoto, akwazi ukuthi izine izodingeka, amathuluzi adingekayo, izinto ezakhihlalo zingakhiqizwa la eSouth Africa. Yingakho ke iRichards Bay IDZ ingene kulolu hlelo lokuthi ibheke inkampani ezikhona, mesithi kulezi inkampani ezikhona badinga lokhu nalokhu nalokhu, and as part of import substitution asifuneke abantu bakwaZulu-Natal abazosakhela lokho okudingekayo. We must strive for import substitution and industrialization in all sectors of the economy. Honorable Speaker, as per our announcement last year regarding our plan to establish a fully fledged clothing and textile special economic zone, we are pleased to report that we have achieved major milestones toward realizing this goal. Firstly, we have completed the development of a business case for the SEZ. Secondly, we have secured a suitable industrial site at Ezakeni to host it.
All right, Premier Sihle Zikalala, there's job creation, a strong theme that is coursing through the Premier's address there. It is one of the main priorities and among the main concerns from residents, raised by residents, critical issues raised by residents. The Premier was talking about the battered economy, the battered global and local economy that has forced a number of KwaZulu-Natal businesses into distress. And he was saying that mounting job losses result in this declining tax revenue, but he was saying that government is compelled to reprioritize existing resources in order to, among others, support ailing businesses and provide a social safety net for the poor. We're going to keep a close eye on that. We'll bring you some of the big headlines from that address in our later bulletins. But